respects the game. He respects where he's at, everything, blah, 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 blah. So I'm always rooting for guys like that. I think the biggest thing for Emerson Hancock, you watched in that first inning, trying to do a little bit too much, which is so cliche and so typical when you've gone 2/3 and given up 6 runs, right? And everyone talks about, well, he needs this sweeper and he needs this and needs that, yada, yada. No. Emerson, get back to sinking a fastball below the barrel. Get back to trusting that changeup. Get back to having that plus arm speed on that changeup, and you are going to get some really, really bad swings. So make contact, whatever, who cares? You don't have to go out and punch out 10. Just go get really bad contact. And so I think after that first inning, I was watching him, and you could kind of just see the reaction. You throw a pitch, miss, out over the plate, or, whatever it was, didn't land the sweeper, which looked way better, by the way, than trying to find it his first start. And you just kind of see that chin go up, like that head go up. It's like he's kind of a little frustrated. Like he's trying to find it. Gets through that first inning, gives up the 2 runs, and I'm sitting there going, okay, dude, you can anchor on that and be like, you know what, this is me and this is not working out, and I'm feeling the pressure from these other dudes who are getting these chances, or guys they're looking at. Or you can say, you know what, I'm going back out. I'm just going to get bad contact. I get ahead in the count. I'm in good shape. And that's exactly what he did, man. He looked good. 4 punch-outs. I'm good with that. Five innings. Build off that, and I'm happy for him. But look, man, he's got a lot of pressure because – one, he was coming into this team where he thought he was going to have this clean slate of a couple months before George Kirby to really have a nice, runway to prove himself. Now, all of a sudden, he gets sent down, and he's like, hold on a minute. You guys are going to send me down. Then you're going to replace me with Luis F. Castillo. I'm expendable here. Oh, by the way, you're paying attention to these other dudes who are in AA and AAA. So it's maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it just gets that hunger up. But, man, he looked good, and I'm all for Emerson being in the rotation.
Ryan, what have you appreciated about either Dan Wilson or the Mariners as a whole, their philosophical approach this year? I ask because Bump made a prediction for this upcoming series that Randy Arozarena would swipe 3 bags. And I was just thinking, you know what? Like, I keep score, and I've noticed how much more I'm writing stolen base. Like, it just feels like they're going for it.
It's the best. I spoke to Mike Cameron yesterday, actually, about Eric Young Jr. and just some of the influences he had. And he's like, look, it's one thing. When you have a first base coach, it's like, hey, listen, man, when he's coming over, his shoulders are going to be a little bit tilted. Hey, he's a little bit more upright or whatever. That's all well and good, right? But if they're saying, hey, look, we have to run more, and you're trying to pick up these cues, if you have that little element of doubt, then there's going to be that hesitation. You're going to take longer to get the jump, right? So Mike Cameron, he spoke like about Ricky Henderson giving him a couple things, and a bunch of other guys. He even talked about some of the first base coaches he had. Eric Young Jr. gets to a place or translates the message in regards to the stolen bases, or it comes from the bench, or hey, we're giving you the green light here. If you see something, you're good. There is a message being translated that basically says, you know what? I am so confident that this guy's going to the plate. And I'm so confident that Trevino, who by the way has stepped it up with his throw to second. I don't know if you remember, but last year he really struggled. He kind of had the yips on the second. And I was watching, and you can just tell there's just this level of confidence where whatever Eric Young Jr. is giving him, or whatever they're grabbing, information they're grabbing, that it's like, hey, off to the races, man. Let's do it. So that's huge. And so with that being said, if that's the case, and you mentioned Dan Wilson, so I think there's just this element of calmness where offensively, all right, the first couple of weeks of the season, we can sort of, I'm using this word again, anchor on 2024 in regards to, don't swing and miss and get it done with runners in scoring position, which is, by the way, it's slowly getting there. It's still not quite there. It's still pretty bad in regards to other teams. But there's just this level of calmness saying, all right, this is what we're doing. This is our approach. We're going to let you go be athletes. We're going to let you do your thing. And not have this try and reinvent the wheel, over-analytical approach, or information that you sometimes get. It could be the right information, but if you don't trust it, whether you're hitting on the bases, especially pitching, you're just not going to execute. So I think there's another level of that this year, which has been great. It's been awesome.
Hey, Ryan, we made some predictions, and mine was Vlad's not going to go yard, and Randy's going to steal 3 bags. And then I think Curtis had Ben Williamson is going to go yard. Really like that dude. What do you see out of the young man?
Yeah. First of all, hey, Vladdy went deep the other day. I don't know if you guys
Yeah,
realize.
I know.
He's confident.
It just takes one.
know.
It takes one.
He's only
Sorry,
got one so far. I'm like, you know what? Let's keep it rolling.
500 mil for one? You kidding me? If I'm a fan, I'm throwing stuff on the field. Let's go, Vladdy. No, hey, listen. Sometimes it takes one. You got to be super careful. Don't sleep on him. Hang on, real quick on that. You were saying Vladdy's not going to hit a home run this series?
I said he's not
For the whole
one
series.
whole series. I'm being bold.
call.
I'm being bold.
Yeah, that's a big call, man. Anyway, but no, we're good. We got some good arms coming up. Yeah, who are we talking about? Ben Williamson.
Yeah.
Who's that? No, I'm kidding. No, I've said this before a few times with him. I think that watching him hit, and he's like size-wise, he's a big dude. Have you guys seen him in person? I don't know if you've seen him.
No.
Well, everyone talks about, hey, look, bat to ball skill, contact, not going to hit for power, not going to. It's like, excuse me, no. This guy's he's a beast. He's big. He's a unit. He's not Dustin Ackley walking around there. There is so much left in the tank, and I feel like when he gets a little bit more comfortable saying, you know what, I can swing and miss, get in a bad count, and still get bat speed on the swing, as opposed to contact first approach, or he's in college 2 years ago. He probably comes from a situation where, hey, hit the ball to right center field or whatever it may be. Look, that doesn't suit everyone, right? In other words, Ben Williamson, I like his approach. He's kind of inside out. Ball gets way deeper on him. But man, I'm just thinking there's that thing in Ben Williamson. It may not happen in the next couple of months. It may take an off season where it's like catch a ball out front. You don't have to go inside out. You don't have to hit the ball to right center field. You don't have to be a bat to ball guy, dude. You're a unit, man. He's big. He's got some presence there. I have a feeling that if the foundation is going to be that bat to ball, and he's confident, comfortable with that, that's great. But hey, sell out a little bit sometimes in regards to the swing. But overall, man, it was fun watching the family. There was tears down there in Cincinnati. Brad Adam was on the broadcast, was trying to interview the parents, and parents like, hey, leave me alone. I'm trying to watch my son. I love all that. He's got a big smile on his face like he's a 12-year-old when he was at first base after that first hit. Defensively, we haven't quite just seen it yet. I heard good things. I have this feeling like there's potential 20, 25 bombs once he just starts letting it eat and getting some bat speed and selling out and not being afraid to swing and miss and be in deep counts.
Ryan, before we let you go, because we got to let you go, do you want to make a prediction for the series? You got to make it a little spicy.
Ooh.
So I had the Mariners win tonight by more than 3 runs. You heard the other two.
That's spicy. Come on, Stacy.
Thank you.
God, I mean, you're going off the rails.
I know.
No, I'm sick of these. I'm sick of these close games. I'm not going to lie. Prediction. Oh man, I know you guys got to get to the break and all those sponsors you got on the show.
Oh,
Let me think.
You're good.
Man, you put me on the spot. Big prediction. I'm going to say who's going tonight? Brian Wu. I'm going to say Brian Wu punches out. I'm going to say he punches out 11 dudes.
Woo! No, that's a big
Let's
prediction.
go.
That's a good
Vladdy
one.
twice. There you go.
Bragging rights if you're right. We're going to re-air this on Monday.
Hey, by the way, you notice I went above 10 because that's spicy enough, but I didn't go anywhere close to like 15 because people will rip me on your text line.
I still thought it was spicy. I thought it was a good one. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks,
See ya.
Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Again, he is Ryan Rowland-Smith. Our weekly conversation brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Seattle Sports is the home of the Seahawks and your home for the 2025 draft. Find us on the radio, the app, and our YouTube page for complete coverage of the Hawks' 5 top 100 picks. Our coverage starts Thursday at 4 p.m. with the John Schneider Show and continues through every Seahawks pick. Follow along via the Seattle Sports app. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Aaron Rodgers spent a whole 45-minute interview yesterday with Pat McAfee, giving little clarity to his plans for the 2025 NFL season. What's the real headline?
Aaron Rodgers being non-committal is something a lot of celebrity women and his family can attest to.
That's what he does. But he's Aaron Rodgers too, man. I know we don't like it that he's stringing on the Pittsburgh Steelers and he's not being honest about what he's doing, what he's not going to do. But there are a few people who can do this, and he is one of them. He better enjoy this, though, because if he does play for the Steelers, he ain't going on Pat McAfee show. I guarantee you Mike Thomas is going to be like, look,
gonna nix that?
You got to focus, man. No McAfee show. Be at the OTAs. Show up to everything. This is how we do things. And I think that might factor into his decision-making. Like, do I really want to show up to everything and change my off the field type of deals? Because he made a couple mil off that Pat McAfee show too.
My question for you. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers truly is mulling retirement and taking his time? Or is Aaron Rodgers taking his time to see whether a team he'd rather play with suddenly needs a quarterback?
No, I'm going to go with the retirement. He's 41. The body doesn't feel the same. He feels good right now, but he also understands what it takes to get into football shape and just the daily grind of practice and film and all that good stuff. You get to an age where you've made a lot of money, you've had success to where you might want to consider doing other things. I think that's where he's at right now.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2: NBA Commissioner Adam Silver says the league will start a more formal process for expansion this summer. What's the real headline?
On second thought, maybe Aaron Rodgers isn't the most non-committal person in headline rewrites today.
A formal process. What does that mean?
Formal process.
You sent the email? Everyone got the email?
It's gonna be an email.
Announcement for the schedule.
I know. Let me play the actual cut here so that we can listen to it.
We're looking at those markets and others. I think as we get into the summer, we'll get into a more formal process of how we go about doing it. I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to expand, but I also think over time, organizations tend to grow. And I look at the success of those markets for other major league teams now. And, so it's easy to just present a scenario where you can see it working successfully for the league. But I don't want to jump the gun here. We have the 30 existing teams who all need to weigh in.
Maybe the formal process is introducing it to the meeting notes.
Maybe.
Maybe it makes
Show
the
me the
slideshow.
minutes. Show me the minutes. Listen, don't talk about considering other places. You know dang well where you need to go. You need to go to Seattle and Vegas. It is that simple. I've heard Austin be thrown out there. I've heard Austin is a great place. I've never been. I've heard of Columbia in Ohio been thrown out there. But come on, it's Seattle. Seattle and whoever, but it should be Seattle and Las Vegas. Both cities are ready for this.
Yeah, it's beyond. I know that there were some people that heard the news sound this morning and just felt like, God, this is more of the same. The one thing I want to say, and this isn't just meant to paint, something that makes it feel like a silver lining or give you any optimism where there isn't. The only thing I want to say that's newsworthy is the things that he did typically point to, a new CBA and a new media deal, are now out of the way in terms of holding up expansion talks. So you're running out of excuses to actually have more formal talks.
Get her done, son.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3: the Mariners start a 3-game series against the Blue Jays tonight on Apple TV. What's the real headline?
Get ready to hear the most annoying person complain about streaming.
It's the way of the world now, Craig.
Come on.
It is what it is. And if you don't want to watch on Apple TV, just listen to it here on 710. Curtis, are you on pre and post? You got duties?
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend?
Mike
Okay.
Lefkoe.
Get a little break.
All right, so Lefkoe.
Back Monday for extra innings.
That's right.
It is what it is, man. Streaming. You know what? Streaming is becoming expensive, too. I'll tell you that. Even though you pointed out that this one's pretty cheap, Apple TV.
Apple TV is pretty cheap, controversially so, because people are like, how are you making money? Your shows are pretty expensive to produce.
Hulu.
Severance is not cheap.
Hulu, Sling, Fubo, they be kicking your butt. Those are expensive. But yeah, go ahead and watch the game, man. And you won't be disappointed. The camera work is crazy with Apple TV. They got special lenses over there.
Speaking of Apple TV, I would recommend it just for the shows. I know I'm sounding like an ad for Apple TV, and I get that, but can I also say that I just started watching The Studio. Have you guys seen it? Matt, have you seen it? Matt, I already know Matt likes it.
It's
so funny.
good.
What is this?
Listen to the premise. So,
what's it called?
The Studio.
Okay.
So Seth Rogen is a studio president who, in the first episode, this isn't a spoiler, it's the premise, is promoted to the studio president. Before then, he's like VP or whatever. And it's almost like a new version of The Office, I've heard this argument, whereas if you could imagine The Office meets I don't know, an entertainment type setting where he's just constantly messing things up and is the worst because he just wants people to like him. He so badly wants the actors and the directors and all these people in the industry to think he's cool and think he's the friendly, cool studio executive, and he keeps messing up everything as a result of desperately wanting to be liked.
Okay.
It's so good.
Sounds good.
There's one episode where the premise is they have a 15 to 20 minute window to get a specific scene shot because it needs to be shot in true sunset light. And he keeps messing it up where they keep having to reshoot. So if you could imagine that kind of premise, that kind of
Nothing gets you going like some good
I love TV. I love it so much. I love it. Do you have something you want to recommend to people, or do you manage to get outside and do things?
No,
with your life?
you know what? I started watching Love on the Spectrum. That is a great.
That's so good.
It's so pure.
It is.
And honest. I love that show.
I love the way it's shot and the direction behind it too, as being like you wonder what the tone is going to be, and it ends up being just truly a connection.
It's the purest thing this world has to offer right now.
If you have not seen it, that's on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, it's so good. All right, we're back to talking about sports. We are going to be taking a look around the NFL and then getting to Dave Wyman joining us at 1. Don't go anywhere.
Breaker, howdy out there, come on. This is the Big Rig Mariner. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
10-4, good buddy.
On a tear.
Cal Raleigh way back into the bleachers and right.
Behind the red-hot Cal Raleigh, the Mariners have won 3 straight series. Up next, the first of 3 against the Jays in Toronto. First pitch at 4:07, and catch every pitch of every game on the Seattle Sports app.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get 1 unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Rick Riz here for the Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington's Improve Your Play program. Many of our local youth sports teams need help with field enhancements, training, and equipment. Local Pella owners Keith Dashafy and Luke Wilson are stepping up to donate $5,000 to 2 deserving teams. We need your help finding them. Head to seattlesports.com/play to nominate a deserving team in need. Let's help our local youth improve their play this year with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Contest and rules at seattlesports.com/play.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
It's time to celebrate Seattle golf with a community swing event. Tuesday, April the 29th at the Jackson Park Golf Course from 11 till 6. Music on the range, free 10-minute lessons, club fittings, food and beverage specials, bucket golf, and free face painting, a Seattle golf celebration. $25 greens fees after 11 a.m. at Jackson, Bill Wright in West Seattle. Free top tracer at Inner Bay, along with food and beverage specials at all the great Seattle locations. It's the garage reminding you to play the courses, play virtual, play premier.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise, and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up in 15, a wild stat about Cal Raleigh from Ryan Rowland-Smith. If you missed it, we're going to get back to it. Hang tight right now, taking a look around the NFL. And we are going to start, of course, with Aaron Rodgers making himself headlines. And so here's me doing it too. As part of his manifesto on the Pat McAfee Show, Aaron Rodgers had time to rip how he feels the Jets handled the end of his time in New York.
I figured that when I flew across country on my own dime, that there was going to be a conversation. And the confusing thing to me, and the strange thing, was, when I went out there, I meet with the coach, we start talking, he runs out of the room. I'm like, that's kind of strange. Then he comes back with the GM, and I'm like, all right. So we sit down in the office, and I think we're going to have this long conversation. I've flown across the country, and 20 seconds in, he goes, literally, I'm talking to the GM about something, and he leans to the edge of his sheet and goes, so do you want to play football? And I was like, yeah, I'm interested. And he said, we're going a different direction at quarterback. So I said, huh? And he goes, we just want to know how you want it released, the messaging. What I thought was going to be a couple-hour meeting turned into like a 15-minute meeting, and I walked out of there.
Bump your thoughts.
You can afford to fly on your own dime, one. Okay, that's not an issue.
But the carbon footprint.
And also, the tone of that meeting seems appropriate for the tone that Aaron Rodgers puts out there. Like, I felt like they were just sending back the energy that he gave that whole organization. I could be wrong, right? But if it happens that quickly, that tells me that the relationship just wasn't on point anyway. If you respect somebody and you care about exactly how this goes down, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen in 15 minutes. So something was off with that whole deal. I think even if you are dealing with Aaron Rodgers, he deserves a bit more than just 15 minutes.
Course.
He is a great, but I think the tone of that meeting reflects just the relationship those two had.
2 questions. Number 1, would a conversation between an NFL GM and player, regardless of that player's name, standing, position, be several hours long?
For a QB like Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I would imagine it would be, I'm thinking, how long was the conversation with, I don't know, any number of players before deciding to move on? There's no way it's several hours. I don't know. I'm not in a front office.
Coaches, even when they're hiring guys, you can understand 4 or 5 hours, but I think...
A 4-hour meeting to tell them we're cutting you?
No. I'm saying when they hire coaches, they have 4 or 5. That's different.
Yeah.
But cutting guys, I think a guy like Aaron Rodgers, you have to talk about philosophy. You have to talk about direction, what he wants out of this deal, what you want out of it. And then you mix in some personal stuff. I can see it going an hour and a half to 2 hours for sure. It's Aaron Rodgers, franchise quarterback.
I just want to know how much he was expecting. When he said several hours, I'm thinking, you think this is going to be a 4-hour meeting?
Several. I think he meant like 2.
Okay.
I should have said a couple.
Yeah, but still.
But it's a big decision too, man. And, I've never been a quarterback, not at that level. You're part of management when you're a quarterback, especially when you're Aaron Rodgers. So there's some conversations that they have with those type of quarterbacks that no one else in the building will have.
A pair of GMs atop the draft think Travis Hunter has the capabilities to play both sides in the NFL. Here's Joe Schoen.
Travis is a unique individual. Again, Dave said it at the owners' meeting. You're going to watch a lot of plays on him. So he's fun to watch. It's unique that, the ball skills, the route ability, and then also the ability to go to the other side and, play corner. Like, you just don't see that very often. A lot of times if these guys can't catch or they can't play receiver, then they get moved to DB. But, this guy can do it all. So he's also, he's a great kid. So it'd be hard to keep him off the field. And, he's motivated to play both ways. So you always worried about the length of the season, with the NFL 17 games and training camp. And you're just, if he gets hurt doing something that he's not doing full time, you're going to kick yourself. But he's a unique athlete that I think will be able to do both.
That's the Giants. Here's the GM of the Browns, Andrew Berry.
So I think one of the things that is you can't probably fully appreciate until you actually see Travis play live is just his elite conditioning. Going out and seeing him play at Colorado, he really never comes off the field. And it's unbelievable because there are more plays in a college game than there is a pro game. And it's like the guy, he barely pants like that, like that type of thing. So it's quite incredible. That being said, what he would attempt to do has not, been really done in our league. But we wouldn't necessarily put a cap or a governor in terms of what he could do. We would want to be smart in terms of how we started him out. I think I've mentioned before, we would see his first home as receiver and his second home, on the defense side of the ball.
So if you're a GM who does think Travis Hunter has the capability to play both ways, but wants to be smart in how you do that, what's the approach? Hey, a couple games will let you play a few snaps on defense, or?
See, my approach would be I would start him on defense and sprinkle him in on offense. I think he's a better DB than receiver. But either way, whichever side of the ball he's starting on, you have him play at least 10 to 15 plays on the other side of the ball. It's all situational stuff, right? And then the toughest part about that is how is he going to prepare? Because offense and defense have meetings at the same time. So he has a separate meeting to learn the game plan for either side of the football, meet with his position coaches individually. There's a lot of work that goes into it as far as the mental side. Physically, I think he'll be able to do it. He can't go 65 on one side, 65 on the other side, talking about the plays. But the toughest part is understanding the game plan and how they want to use them.
I've actually not thought at all about position coach meetings until right now. How does prep look during the week? And not only that, but when training camp rolls around, do you spend one day with the receivers, the next day with the DBs? What does it look like in training camp?
Yeah, I think the hardest part in training camp is going to be the individual drills, right? When you're getting warmed up for practice and you're working on technique and stuff. When it comes to 7-on-7 and team, he can just go back and forth. But the meetings is the part that I'm most interested in because we meet at the same time.
Yeah. Speaking of Andrew Berry, GM for the Browns, he was also asked whether Cleveland's signing of Joe Flacco takes them out of the QB market. Here's what he said about that.
No, I wouldn't say that that's the case at all. We wouldn't consider, signing Joe as having any real impact in terms of how we would view taking a quarterback in the draft. We firmly believe that it's not about picking a player who's, ready to contribute now. It's about trying to find the player that you think is going to be the best if you have access to that player. And look, I think you can think about Patrick Mahomes had his whole first year. Josh Allen, it really took to year 3 for him to become Josh Allen. Lamar probably hit the ground running pretty quickly. Jalen Hurts, there were doubts about him until he probably hit year 3. So quarterbacks mature and grow at their own pace, and our thought isn't in terms of immediacy, but making the next long-term bet.
The Browns have pick number 2 overall, widely expected to take Travis Hunter, maybe Abdul Carter. Bump, they're back on the board at pick 33 in the second round. Would you see a Jalen Milroe type guy go there?
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, you look at their quarterback room, they got Watson, Flacco, and Kenny Pickett. If anybody, Kenny Pickett is the guy that would get the boot if you do draft a quarterback. And I like the way they're talking about the position, too. You don't have to put a guy out there right now, especially if you're going to pick later on in the draft. You let him sit and you let him learn. Joe Flacco has signed with these guys. He's a good pro. Deshaun Watson, I mean, forget what you feel about him as far as the person, but he has had success in this league, and you can still learn from that guy, too. So, no, I don't put it by them at all. No.
Wait, someone said that Andrew Berry sounds like Curtis Rogers.
Let me hear a little bit.
Okay, wait, hang on. Curtis, don't say anything yet.
So I think one of the things that is
no.
So I think one of the things that is
no. I don't see the vision. I don't see it.
Took me 0.5 seconds.
After earlier being named as one of 17 draft attendees, Ole Miss quarterback Jackson Dart will no longer be in Green Bay for the event. No reason given for his absence, and now the only 2 quarterbacks attending night 1 are Cam Ward, expected number 1 overall pick, and Jalen Milroe.
I really hope Milroe gets picked up. I really do, man. Don't set yourself up like that. I hope you have great intel, good information. Your agent knows somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, and they say you're going to get drafted.
Yeah. Last one.
Navy blue suit.
Green. I think it might be blue. Raiders, you know what just came to me in a vision? Maroon.
Maroon?
Like a deep burgundy. It's so in right now. And if he has a stylist, burgundy is so in. Burgundy, suede is in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it could be burgundy.
Okay,
I'm moving on. Raiders GM John Spytek was asked about Ashton Genty as a possibility at number 6 for the Raiders, and sounds like a team that really wants to draft Ashton Genty at number 6.
I'm going to be careful about talking about any specific player, but more broadly to the running back question, I mean, we just saw Saquon Barkley just change the Eagles in one year. Now they had a great team around him, and it was adding an elite player. And I think when you sit where we sit, I mean, the idea is to add elite players at any position. And I don't try to devalue any certain position. I mean, there's times in games where there's nobody you'd rather have than the best kicker in the league too, right? I mean, in that moment. So there's certain ways to build the team. And I don't know where we got to a place where we don't feel like running backs are valued. I come from the University of Michigan to my core, and those guys were certainly really valued there. So it's hard for me to get away from that.
They're taking Genty.
Yeah.
It's absolutely happening. More importantly, Cam Ward for the Heisman had, I don't know if this is Navy, I think it was all black. Black suit coat, black undershirt, black tie. But you can't do the same thing for the draft.
No, he'll mix it up, especially when you get to the draft, your stylist is a little different, things change a bit, but that black on black is clean, though.
It is clean, it is. A fascinating stat. I'm talking all time from Ryan Rowland-Smith when it comes to Cal Raleigh. That is coming your way next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
The number 9 draft profile, the tight end, Colson Loveland.
There is no struggle as a pass catcher. This may be, and he may turn out to be, that next great NFL tight end. Because of this system, tight ends are going to be so unbelievably valuable. When you got a unicorn, and he would be a unicorn sitting there, there's a possibility.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
LeeJohnson.com is a dynamic research tool.
We want to give the customer enough information to where they don't have to go anywhere else to research any of the questions they have. And if they want more information, we'd love to be there to help. We don't want them to feel like they're dependent on emailing us or texting us or calling us just to get the information they need. So we put it all out there. We call them digital retailing tools, big fancy calculators where you can get in there and change the terms and change the payments and change the cash down. And it'll give you a disclosure of, hey, when you do this, this means here. And a consumer can get on there and do a lot of this themselves. And then if they choose to get us involved, we can actually get involved on the backside of it and help them along the way. We want to give the consumer the same tools that we have and let them understand what we understand.
Yup, that's pretty much what you'd expect. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Is your concrete sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Ryan Air is a simple, non-invasive procedure that significantly reduces your postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're proud this year the Stern Sinus Center was just named a nationwide center of excellence. We're also excited to welcome another allergy surgeon and ear surgeon to our practice. Schedule your appointment in Auburn or Federal Way or go to sternsinus.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
You know, there's nothing better than having a big fish on your line, and you'll hear that sound a lot at Queen Charlotte Lodge. Make moments into memories. Experience a luxury resort, breathtaking wildlife, spectacular wilderness, and amazing fishing at Queen Charlotte Lodge in British Columbia. Reserve now before you miss out on peak king salmon runs and plentiful halibut in May and June. Go to fishqcl.com. That's fishqcl.com. Oh, and remember, our dollar is worth $1.40 north of the border.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Bob Stelton here for Asset Roofing, and they have got the perfect slogan. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset, and I witnessed this firsthand when I met Anthony, the owner, and again when I had him do work on my roof. Now this spring, replace your aging roof with Asset Roofing because you're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Check them out at AssetRoofingCo.com. That's AssetRoofingCo.com.
Certified work that's never in doubt. Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house.
At Shane Company, we love a spring engagement, but you might be wondering, how do I find the perfect engagement ring? As a trusted family jeweler since 1929, we get asked this a lot. We have a wide selection of ring settings, like vintage designs with romantic details, floral settings inspired by nature, and classic styles with clean lines and sleek metals. Dreaming of the most beautiful diamond you've ever seen? At Shane Company, we handpick only the sparkliest center stones in all shapes and sizes, from oval to round to marquise and more. We have gorgeous natural and lab-grown diamonds at competitive prices, in-store, ready to compare side by side. Drawn to certain colors? We're known for our rainbow of vivid natural sapphires, including shades of blue, straight out of a fairy tale, handpicked by our owner, Tom Shane. At Shane Company, we have the best free lifetime warranty that includes the center stone, plus resizing, repairs, and cleanings for life. Visit us at shaneco.com or in store. No appointment necessary. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bump and Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Like fighting with listeners about whether or not Andrew Berry, GM of the Browns, sounds like Curtis Rogers. I don't hear it.
I don't hear it at all.
I don't at all.
So I think one of the things that is like you can't probably fully appreciate until you actually see Travis.
Yeah, that sounds nothing like me. I don't know what they're talking about.
Matt.
Hey, wait a minute.
But maybe over air it sounds different.
Man, don't try to justify their
You're right.
nonsense.
You guys are crazy.
I'm drafting a quarterback, even though I signed Joe Flacco. Does that sound like him?
Oh, my God. Andrew Barry's here.
Hey, guys, it's me, Andrew Barry.
Let's talk about Cal Raleigh. I've got a really cool stat from Ryan Rowland-Smith to get to, but first, some Cal sound about the hot streak that he's on. Asked how he feels now on a hot streak, heading into hitting at a park where he's done well.
I think in general, you remember those places that you have good memories from, and obviously good memories there with us, going there in 22 and winning a wild card series there. So I think that's the first thing you remember. Yeah. You remember all those places and getting to celebrate there, and you remember, those are memories that you'll never forget. So I think that's number one. And, you always, obviously, like, as baseball players, you know yourself and you know places you like to hit, places you don't like to hit, pitchers, non-pitchers. So, they have a good team. They really do. They're always solid. They always compete well, and they have tough arms. So it's always fun playing there because it's challenging, and, they're really good staff. So I think that always brings out the best in me, when we're playing, those really good teams, really good arms, and it's challenging, and they got a tough environment to play in. So I think that's kind of what brings the best out of a lot of guys, honestly. They like that challenge. They like that opportunity. And
Cal Raleigh has 9 home runs against the Blue Jays. Obviously, not all of those coming in Toronto, but he's done well when playing in this series.
Cal has done well for this squad the last few years, man. He's someone you can rely on. I know you can look at, right, his average and strikeouts, and if you just understand what type of player Cal is, you understand that it's all about those bombs and those RBIs, which he has, 8 of them now, and then 11 RBIs, OPS in around 900. He's doing what he's supposed to do, but there's some teams that just you get up for. It's not to say that he just, we're playing A's, I'm not up for this. But some teams just bring the best out of you. When I was playing,
I was just going to ask if there was one.
SC, I always went for 100 against SC, always. And it's because you know what's over there and you get yourself going. So I don't think he looks at the Blue Jays and sees a team that he must get up for, but sometimes just the environment, it's the vibe. It's a more than a feeling. You can't really explain it. There's no metric that says this is why Cal plays good against this team. It's just sometimes it's all vibes.
Speaking of trying to explain a feeling, Cal was asked about using a torpedo bat.
It doesn't feel any different in my hand. It honestly feels pretty similar to the bat that I've been swinging. Just, obviously it's birch and I use maple, so I've switched obviously to that. But it feels balanced like my other bat does. It's just obviously a bigger barrel. A lot of people don't, if you're not in baseball, you don't really understand, but there's regulations on maple bats because of the way they break and the low density. So it's a safety thing, for when you break them. You don't want pitchers get hit or a position player because they break so easy in when they're shaped a certain way and the barrel's too big, so they have to keep the maples a little smaller, whereas ash or birch, you get to make the barrel a lot bigger because the density, and it's not going to break like a maple would, and it's safer. So they figured out if you can use birch, you can make a massive kind of barrel in a different spot.
I learned a lot about wood.
I just did. I had no idea. Maple, denser. Barsh was the other one?
Birch.
Birch?
Barsh?
Barsh?
What? Birch?
Birch. Oh, that's what I heard.
All right, let's get to Stephanie Raleigh was interviewed the other day as well. First, talking about Cal's nickname.
There's some controversy on Cal's nickname. Yeah. And Todd said that it's appropriate and he's good with it. As a mom, a big dumper, do you want your son?
Stinks. I appreciate her saying it stinks about it. She also thanks Seattle for loving her son.
Thank you, yes. And I just want to say thank you to all of Seattle for loving my kid because you got a pretty good one. So
we absolutely do, no matter what we call him.
Yeah.
As we get back to...
He's embraced it, so.
It is wild to have a nickname like that.
Hey. That boy got you know what.
Yeah.
And he should, because he's squatting for 2.5 hours, 3 hours a day. You gotta have some junk in the trunk to be a catcher there. I love his mom. His mom sounds sweet. And I love that she was honest. Like, I don't really like that name. But but he's always had that dump. It didn't just appear out of nowhere.
Okay. All of that. Just kind of a background on what Cal thinks about hitting in Toronto, how he feels about the torpedo bats, how his mom's feeling about his play in Seattle, and about how he's being embraced by the city. To get to this, Ryan Rowland-Smith was on with Bump and I earlier and had a wild stat about where Cal is tracking in terms of home runs.
Listen, man, he is on another level. And again, I'm going back to the Piazza thing because this is pretty wild, right? Let's say he plays another 11 years in the big leagues to match how long Piazza played till he was 37, right? And Cal's in his 28th age year, but I'm looking at it and saying, okay, Mike played another 11 years. If he puts up, and this is going to sound crazy, but if he can average about 8 years of 30 home runs, so let's say he hits 26 one year, then he hits 34 one year, or if he can put up a couple 40 home runs, he may be, this is going to sound crazy, the all-time leader in home runs in Major League Baseball. That's how wild it is, the rate he's hitting home runs at. So, hey, how about it, Cal? It's unreal, man. We should never take for granted what we have with Cal Raleigh right now.
That is a wild prediction, and it's not, even though Ryan is kind of prefacing it by saying, look, I know this sounds crazy. Cal's been averaging home runs or 30 home runs.
Yeah, that's what he does. That's why he's here. Frame him, smash him, and keep good relationship with these pitchers. Now that'd be awesome. He talked about how he's up there with Mike Piazza when it comes to the rate that he's hitting the ball. And I'm glad that he highlighted that because sometimes we have the tendency to not really appreciate what's going on while it's going on. And then when it's all said and done, you look back and say, oh, man, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It's cool to be aware of what you're seeing when it comes to Cal Raleigh.
All right, Dave Wyman joining us next.
Breaker, howdy out there, come on. This is the Big Rig Mariner. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
10-4, good buddy.
On a tear.
Cal Raleigh way back into the bleachers and right.
Behind the red-hot Cal Raleigh, the Mariners have won 3 straight series. Up next, the first of 3 against the Jays in Toronto. First pitch at 4:07. And catch every pitch of every game on the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Windows are a home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Goodbye, winter mud. Hello, Dream Yard. Spring is here. Synthetic Turf Northwest has you covered. No more soggy lawns or weekend yard work. Just green, clean, and ready for backyard barbecues, wiffle ball, or kicking back. Synthetic Turf Northwest, the area leader in synthetic grass, residential and commercial installs, plus turf supplies out of our Woodinville warehouse, and soon in Fife, right off I-5. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com today.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all
all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity.
So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get one unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Quarterback Jackson Dart is no longer attending the first round of the NFL Draft in person. Per ESPN, no reason was given for Dart's change of mind. He was one of 3 quarterbacks planning to attend night 1. That list now just includes Cam Ward and Jalen Milroe. Get ready for Friday Night Baseball on Apple TV. The Mariners open a series against the Blue Jays. Brian Wu on the mound. If you're looking for local play-by-play, you can still find it on Seattle Sports. Also, don't forget Apple TV has an option on the stream to switch to local broadcasting. First pitch at 4:07 p.m. Pregame show starts at 3 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Dave Wyman joining us in studio. Dave, I have 2 very important things to ask you. First, does this man...
So I think one of the things that is...
sound like Curtis Rogers?
It's the tempo. It's not the voice
it's the cadence.
necessarily.
Really?
Okay, wait, here's another one.
No, I wouldn't say that that's the case at all. Like
I wouldn't say that's the case at all. We don't sound anything like each other.
Consider.
He says wouldn't. You don't say wouldn't.
Wouldn't? No.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's just like the tempo of like these. Not that he stutters, but I mean it's
That's
just.
what someone else said.
I do.
Yeah. No, I mean everybody has their own way of talking. I noticed recently that I've been saying I feel like.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, why am I saying that all of a sudden? You know, you just get these crutches that all of a sudden.
Do we have tempos, Bump and I?
Everyone does.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably have things I say.
You guys asked the question because I was listening. Does it sound different on the radio? It definitely does.
Yeah. So like in person right here, Dave can attest, Curtis doesn't sound like Andrew Berry.
We're not drafting a quarterback. We have Joe Flacco.
You know, signing Joe is having any real impact in terms of how we would view.
It's a little bit of the tempo there. That's all.
Okay, the second question. Did you know that John Elway was from Port Angeles?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't know that. Did you know Brian Urlacher's from Pasco?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew that Jack coached up here. Jack Elway coached high school football in Port Angeles, and then he went to Washington State for a little while. That was my guy. Jack Elway, one of my favorite people of all time. And when he came to Stanford, it was just like, I mean, we had Paul Wiggin, who was the nicest guy in the world, but he was just not a coach.
Yeah.
And Jack came, and there was kind of this Stanford image, that, oh, these guys are the academic guys and everything. And so we had this big Pac-10 at the time, Skywriters thing, and it was his first year there. And I said at this thing, I was like, I never liked the Stanford image. I came here to win football games. And afterwards, like, every reporter was like flocked around me, and I was like, oh no, what did I say? And then Jack loved it because, he came there and he wasn't really a Stanford image guy, and I mean, Jack would be out at practice with a chew, a dip, and smoking a cigarette.
Dang. He said, I'm getting all of this.
Three? Yeah. Walking around with a styrofoam cup.
Yeah, but he just wasn't that kind of guy. He wanted to win, and his son was the same way. I played with John for, 3 years in Denver, and then 1 year, my freshman year at Stanford.
Yeah.
So yeah, loved Jack Elway.
And you knew Jack long before John, right?
No, John and I played. It was his senior year when he should have won the Heisman. I think Herschel Walker won it, but because of that stupid play against Cal. We didn't make a bowl, with the pitching and everything. That was John's senior year. We were supposed to go to a bowl game. But anyway, yeah, I knew Jack was a Northwest guy, and John.
All right. Transitioning. Well, I'm going to go to the draft.
Where do we go from there?
I'm going to go to the draft. Dave, like, the more I look at the Seahawks and what they can do in this draft, the more I look at 18, and I don't see the wrong pick.
Yeah.
Only if it's a quarterback. I think at 18, you got to go any other position, but I just don't see the wrong pick there. I think I can justify anything that they do at 18, whether it be a receiver, DB, a lineman, edge rusher, whoever. I just want them to get the best guy available. I'm sure you've talked about this endlessly on your show, but it's fresh. It's on the Bump and Stacy show. So,
well, we just talked to John, and, the thing is, with him, talking to him, you're not going to get any hint or clue whatsoever. You really have no idea how they value certain players. And so, it could be any of those. I've said before, Bump, no offense, but I was like, the one position, if they take a receiver, I don't know.
No
I just feel like there's so many good receivers, and I think that's one thing. Like, if you just look at the general talent, there's not a lot of great offensive linemen coming out of college.
Well, I'm offended.
But but there's a lot of really good receivers just because that's what kids do. They go out in the backyard and make one-handed catches. And so I don't know. I guess because you signed Cooper Kupp and, Scantling, I feel like they're kind of set there, but you never know. If John comes out and says this guy was the best football player at that time, then yeah. And I was making the case yesterday for Jihad Campbell. If they pick him at number 18, it would make sense to me because I know that they want to get really good down the middle of that defense. And I love Tyrese Knight, but that might be a guy that you pair him up with Ernest Jones, and those two guys can be starters side by side for the next 6 or 7 years.
It's interesting because the 49ers might go defense. So you have, what I mean? It's like you could be maybe fighting for, maybe looking at the same guy. Obviously, they're on the board first. I wanted to talk about your conversation with John. It was a really good one. I liked him going over some of the stories of, guys that don't know it's him. And then have you heard a million of these?
Well, there was one in particular that he told us, I think it was a year ago or 2 years ago. We were trying to speculate like crazy.
I've spent all morning thinking of who it might be.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we'll talk after and see who you think it is. But yeah, I mean, I think that's one of those kinds of things that, how you judge character and what can make a player go above another one. And, if you're really close as far as their talent and what they're doing on the field, that guy treats everybody like crap, then we don't want him. So, but, there's also the there's probably plenty of people in the NFL, I was saying about this yesterday, that are like, I don't care how he treats people. I care what he does on the field. That's all I worry about. So, I think it's just different, but I think John's on the right track because, you have to have, at some point, you're all superstars. You're all making tens of millions of dollars, but you need to care about your teammates. And that was one of the things that McDonald said last year.
I like the way Bump said it earlier, which was like, there are some guys for whom it doesn't matter, but it's like Tyreek Hill, Mahomes. Like you have to be so exceptionally talented, and if you're a guy that's going to have to put in the work, it does kind of matter.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to work with people around you?
Oh, I had to be nice to everybody. If
Yeah.
I want a good dude, they would have cut me so quick.
Can you imagine walking in and just, who are you? I don't care.
Right. No, there's different rules for different talent, right? The more talented you are, the more you put up with. It's like pretty people. Like, guys put up with a bunch of stuff from pretty girls, and girls put up with a bunch of stuff from pretty guys. It's just
a 10 can do almost whatever they want.
It's just how it is over there. Sam Darnold, man, I'm so interested to see what he does, and I'm rooting for him. We had Greeny on our show, and he said that one thing that he's guaranteeing that he's going to turn the football over. And last year had 12, 15 interceptions or something like that, but with 35 touchdowns, what are you expecting out of Sam?
Well, I expect that I think he signed that deal. First of all, the Seahawks got a really good deal on it. If he doesn't work out. But just the connection, and I think more and more see how important coaching is. And, that he loved being with Kubiak in San Francisco, even though he was a backup there. And, I feel like the right coach can, there you go, I said it again. I feel like the right coach actually can
be you, Dave.
can make a huge difference with this offense. So I'm looking for him to have a really good year, but a lot of people might read into, well, what'd you get Drew Lock for? And you already spent money on, Sam Howell, not money, but draft capital that you sent that way. And Bob said that he felt like it makes them more likely to draft a quarterback, and I thought it was less likely. Yeah.
Why does he think it makes it more likely? That they maybe want to just be like, let's throw 1,000,000 darts at the board and see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'll let him speak for himself. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but yeah, I mean, it was something along those lines, basically. And then also just the, trying to guess what Schneider's going to do. We haven't gotten really anything out of that. I think the one thing that we've gotten out of John, and because we have people texting in, why don't you ask him who he's going to draft or whatever? Well, that's fruitless. You're not going to get anything out of that. But just he's talked a lot about the process and how I feel like it's now really the way that he wants it. He wants it the way he wants the structure and the how the draft goes, and no arguments, no crazy, because it sounds like there's been some arguments going on, and I told the story about when I found out from Jim Mora that I was part of one of those fights in a draft room.
Did you find out more about what happened or what they were saying, or did someone not want you and someone else did?
Yeah, the head coach from the Chargers wanted me, and the GM did not want me, and so the clock was ticking down, and Jim Mora told me this whole thing, and it freaked me out because I'm from San Diego. I could have got drafted there, and my whole life would be different. I'd have different kids, the whole thing, and but yeah, and he said finally the owner just stepped in because the clock was ticking down. And John told us a story about that yesterday. But yeah, the clock was ticking down, and all of a sudden the owner stepped in and goes, just take Rod Bernstein. And Rod Bernstein and I were teammates in Denver, but I heard that story from Jim like 10 years ago. And I was like, holy, that freaked me out. But I mean, that's the kind of thing that I think John has kind of alluded to a few times where they've had that. And the one thing he told us is he's like, if you have that going on in your draft room, it looks like you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So I think it's going to be, he also told us a story yesterday about how there was a fight that was going on, and he just went over and picked up the phone and called the next guy. And then everybody's like, wait, whoa, what are you doing there? And so he's like, well, he was kind of trying to show everybody, hey, we need to have this exactly the way, a process that we've already agreed on.
Yeah.
We're not going to let our emotions get involved. And it sounds to me like he's got that where he wants it now. Because, look, he didn't have final say with Pete Carroll. And then last year he was kind of trying to feel out the new coach and see, what he wanted and where he was at. So now, I think this is going to be John's draft, and he's going to be much more sure about what kind of players Mike Macdonald wants, and so I think this will be a good one for him.
My favorite part of that story is also that the guy he called next ended up becoming a Seahawk.
Yeah.
I want to know who it is. Did you
know.
find that out?
No.
I need to do more research. Dave, how do you feel? I've got it on the text line. I've written about it. Bump and I have seen a million questions about a tight end with the first round pick.
Yeah, Loveland.
Loveland.
Yeah.
I think Warren will be gone, but yeah, Loveland in part.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't hate him for that. I mean, we've talked a lot about on our show about how the best tight end of all time, the franchise history, is Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
And he was seen as kind of a failure. To me, I thought a lot of that was on the coaching. Why are you asking him to block?
Yes.
He can't block.
He still got 900-something yards one season.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he's been their most productive tight end, and to have that kind of player, I think would be really cool. You look at Loveland, he's kind of skinny, his lower half, but he runs routes like receivers do, basically. I know at the combine, he had some kind of surgery because he wasn't performing at the combine. I think it was like an AC joint, which is not a big deal. So, and if John took him, it would be because they think he's absolutely, healthy. So, yeah, I think that would be really cool to get that connection, to have that. Tight ends are so weird to me. I can't figure them out. Like, you look at them and, like, they don't look that fast to me. I mean, a guy like Mark Andrew really isn't that fast.
Yeah.
And then you look at Kittle and you look at Kelsey, and it's like, I don't see him making receiver-like moves. I think it's the matchups a lot of times. But, that would be really cool to have a guy like that. So, yeah, that to me would be exciting.
The LB spot, man, you got Ernest, who's he's inked up, right? He got inked up. And then we got Tyrese Knight. But after that, man, it's thin. I mean, you got Drake Thomas, I believe, over there, and one or two other guys. They have to address the LB spot in this draft.
Yeah, and, I could see him taking Campbell from Alabama at that 18 pick, just because those two guys together, as I said, would be, maybe the inside guys for the next 6 or 7 years. Maybe safety. I know Moyer wasn't as thrilled about that South Carolina.
I love him. Moyer doesn't like him?
Well, he said
Does he have
like,
character questions? I like
know.
him, but I just saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and and I haven't really looked at him that much, but I could see them possibly looking at a safety, something down the middle. Maybe it's the guy that I kind of fell in love with is that Mason Graham kid, the D tackle from Michigan. He is just unblockable. He's kind of like Witherspoon in that he doesn't have his target is always moving, and you see his hands and how good he is with that. He's just really hard to block. But I think if you take a defensive tackle, and he may not be there because a lot of people have him as a top 10, but I could see a lot of people being upset about that because you just signed Jaron Reed and you got the rookie and you got Big Cat, but I. Down the middle of that defense, I wouldn't be surprised if they did take a guy like that.
What about a kicker? That's not my question. Dave, you had a long NFL career, and a lot of people don't. And I know that you, Bump, and I would all agree that talent is going to be the number one indicator of success. But one thing that you and John talked about a ton was also the other things that can lead to success. So if they were like, Dave, tell us what we should value in a player. What's something that you'd say, I'm telling you, if I saw this in a guy, if he said this, if he had this characteristic, if he was like this, I could guess he might work out.
Okay, so I would say I would never draft me because all I did was get hurt at Stanford.
So an injury history, okay.
Yeah, to me, I mean, some players are just that way. I remember Pete Carroll trying to explain that one time. I thought he had a pretty good explanation that, look at Bobby Wagner. He played the same position that I did, and he is 100% of the snaps. How many games did he miss? 2 or 3, maybe? So, yeah, to me, the health part of it, a guy that has a track record of he just plays in a way where he's just not getting hurt. Mine was never because I didn't work hard enough. It was because I got in car accidents, So, yeah, those kinds of players that, maybe I was just too unaware, of what's around me. And so that, to me, I think if I was a GM, that would be very important. And I think it is to John. It's very important to him. And they have a pretty high standard. Laiatu Latu, you probably looked at him last year. I
Yep.
thought he was one of the most polished pass rushers I've ever seen come out of college, but he failed the physical up here. And so UCLA passed him, and there was no way they were going to take him. So that's why Byron Murphy falling to them there at that spot, because that was he was the second guy picked in the draft. It was just a perfect dream come true for them because there's no way they were going to draft Laiatu Latu.
Well, that's probably why they passed on Will Fries too. I mean, it shows that John doesn't play around when it comes to that health, man. You got to know exactly what you're getting. What do you expect from this team this year? Because I said, look, 9 or 10 wins again. We'll see. You know, a lot of stuff needs to happen. Is Sam going to be good? Is this offense going to take a step forward? And I described it as a 9 or 10 wins, but you want to see progress. And someone lit me up on the text line. 9 and 10 is the same thing. How are we going to see progress? And I'm thinking, well, the run game looks better. Sam looks comfortable back there. And you got to remember the Niners, they got some work to do, but the Rams are in this division. What does a successful season look like for you?
How about picking up short yardage situations, being able to move people off the ball? An offensive line, I know everybody is clamoring for offensive linemen, but to me, I think that a lot of that's going to get fixed by the scheme and the way that, they were in the wide zone and, they get certain kind of players. They feel like they have the right players here to run that. So that to me would be a sign of success that when you wanted to pick up a 3rd and 2. I mean, remember in the Ram game, they had, and the thing was, they spread it out like the previous 6 run plays. They spread it out. And they got 4 yards, 6 yards, 5 yards, and then all of a sudden, let's tighten up the formation, and we couldn't pick up a 3rd and 2 and a 4th and 2. So
Were
to
you
me,
kicking yourself when you saw that?
I was going nuts.
Oh yeah, and I remember driving home and listening to Ray, and Ray was making
losing it
because I usually never question play call because I'm like, look. These guys know a lot more than we do, and they know what the situation is and everything. But that was one where I was like, okay, in short yardage situations, can we pick up, can we not have to put the ball in the quarterback's hands every single time in order to sustain a drive?
Fullback. Get a fullback.
How about that?
You need one. And I wonder if he's going to use tight ends because you saw in Kubiak's offense, he will motion tight ends back there. But a fullback is necessary in this deal. You think they just grab one off the street and say, look, put this cowboy collar on, let's get it?
Yeah, I mean, he did that kind of in Baltimore, right? With the kid, I'm blanking on his name, their big fullback who was like a D tackle type of guy. So, yeah, I mean, I could see that happening. But, I'm curious if it's going to sort of go that way because, we've seen now like half, maybe less than half, I think, of the teams have a fullback right
They're
now.
like extinct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Going the way of the dodo.
Sounds so sad.
It is
kind of
sad.
sad.
It is kind of sad. Speaking of, old school stuff, we had Bump mentioned Ray Roberts on, and I forget how I phrased the question to Ray, but his answer was fun, so I was going to ask you a similar question. I think we said something like, hey, what's a type of football conversation people have that you feel like is all wrong? Like you hear it and it drives you crazy. And for him, he was like, I feel like people make it all about the quarterback and especially don't know how to talk about offensive line play. And they've got all these numbers that mean nothing, and they don't actually know.
Right.
Is there a similar thing for you where you go, I wish that I could interrupt every conversation about this and make this thing clear?
Yeah, I'd probably go the way that Ray goes, and we defer to Ray quite a bit because, there's been a number of times I'm like, hey, Ray, what about this? And he's like, well, what about the tight end? Why isn't he helping? Why aren't they, sliding their protection this way and that way? So, yeah, that's kind of frustrating because, first of all, I don't think that there's just offensive linemen just in general just haven't developed. I mean, how many teams coming out of college and everything, how many teams have who they want at offensive line? I mean, it's like
2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, maybe between 6 and 10.
Yeah.
But you look at like elite Detroit, the Bills, Philadelphia, Kansas City, although they got whooped in the Super Bowl. So, but I think that's the one thing where people, I think most, and I'll admit, like going into a game, if I'm looking at the opponent, I'm going, okay, how's their offensive line? I'm looking at number of sacks they're giving up and what are they doing on the ground. And maybe that's not fair, but I think that's how most people look at it. And they look at all of the sacks and everything like that. But, a lot of times that's the decision of the quarterback. And we saw that kind of happen with Sam Darnold at the end of his Viking career anyway.
Yep.
All right. He is Dave Wyman. Going to be following us in a little over 30 minutes, and then he is going to send you straight into the Mariners pregame show at 3 p.m., and you have a 4:07 p.m. first pitch. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
All right. Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners open a series against the Blue Jays at 4:07 p.m. on Apple TV. Brian Wu on the mound. Pregame show, like we said, starts at 3 p.m. Again, as a reminder for Apple TV, you can listen to the live broadcast on Seattle Sports. You can also toggle within Apple TV to get local broadcasting. That's the number one complaint we see from people who still want to hear local voices, so you can do that within the app. You can hear play-by-play also live on Seattle Sports or the Seattle Sports app. Coming up next, Hype Train.
Breaker, howdy out there, come on. This is the Big Rig Mariner. Mercy sakes, we got the big dumper unloading all over big league pitching. Over.
10-4, good buddy.
On a tear.
Cal Raleigh way back into the bleachers and right.
Behind the red-hot Cal Raleigh, the Mariners have won 3 straight series. Up next, the first of 3 against the Jays in Toronto. First pitch at 4:07, and catch every pitch of every game on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Cliff Averill, inviting you to join me at Muckleshoot Casino Resort April 24th for the ultimate draft day viewing party. Yeah, we're teaming up with Seattle Sports to bring you all the excitement on draft night live. You'll get expert insight, exclusive prizes, and a chance to hang out with me and my boy Lofa Tatupu for a special Q&A. Whether you're a diehard Seahawk fan or just love some football, this is the place to be. So don't miss out. Join us for the big night at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Let's talk football, win some prizes, and enjoy the draft together.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
we meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Hope springs eternal during the start of the season, but unfortunately, so do spring allergies. Hey, it's Dr. Ryan Stern of the Stern Sinus Center. Let us fix your ear, nose, and throat problems. Let's make your congestion, sinusitis, snoring, and allergies a non-issue. We can diagnose and treat everything from allergy testing and treatments to modern nasal breathing procedures to advanced balloon sinuplasty. Come and see us in Federal Way in Auburn or at sternsinus.com. That's sternsinus.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
You think your home is pretty cool until that summer heat hits, and suddenly your home isn't that cool. In fact, it's hot. Air conditioning from Washington Energy Services can help. Stay cool this summer with our biggest spring savings event ever. This month only, take up to $3,500 off an energy-efficient Bryant cooling system with exclusive Washington Energy rebates. Ensure your home is always the cool house with air conditioning from Washington Energy Services. Contact us today for a free estimate.
Want to get rid of clutter and reclaim your space? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling for the greater Seattle area. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We prioritize donating and recycling, so we'll look for opportunities to do just that instead of going to the landfill. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. Reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. It's coming your way in about 15 minutes. 866-979-3776. Get those sent now to the Mac and Jack's text line right now. Let's head to the station for Hype Train. The Mariners taking on the Blue Jays in Toronto. First pitch at 4:07 p.m. Pre-game show starts at 3 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Cal Raleigh in the spotlight on a hot streak right now. And Cal hits another bomb. It's a simple Hype Train.
Simple.
It would be a heck of a run, though.
Very realistic. Very realistic.
Realistic,
because
crazy.
he's hit, 7 in the last 5 or something like that?
6 in his last 6.
Something crazy like that. He's got the torpedo mentality. That's what it comes down to. It's not Cal, it's the torpedo. And he's going to have the torpedo in his hand again, swinging and doing his thing. Easy one aboard, riding the wave. Let's go, Cal.
Curtis is going to say he's going to hit not 1 but 2 home runs. Curtis, are you boarding the Hype Train that Cal Raleigh is going to hit a home run? I ruined it.
He's not going to hit 1. He's going to hit 3 home runs. That's right.
Freedom thanks.
No, you don't.
In his career at Rogers Center, he's played 8 regular season games, has 6 home runs. That doesn't count the postseason games that he's played there, too. I believe he hit at least 1 more. So it's a pretty sure bet that Cal Raleigh will go yard at least once this weekend. So absolutely. Yeah, we're boarding that train.
Let's see. MLB players with 3 home runs in a game. Aaron Judge was the last one, right? Let me see.
When was that? At the opening day? Yeah, he didn't 3. They hit 9 that day, though.
This can't be right. This has last been updated in 2008. There's no way. There's been since then. Let's see. You got some classic names here, and then some. There's no way it happens, Curtis. 3 home runs?
In the series, I'm talking about.
Oh, I thought you said in a game.
No. He could do it in a game. The last Mariner to do it in a game, I believe, was Kyle Seager, August of 2019. Looking at that right now.
Yeah, I want to find who were the last players league-wide to hit 3 home runs in a game? That's what I want to know. I need to know.
I don't know if anybody did in 2024. I'm sure somebody did in 2024.
Aaron Judge has had to have done it before.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Ohtani, didn't he famously?
Oh, Ohtani had that one game last year,
right?
where he had
Was that three
home runs, and I think he had like 2 doubles in that game too. He went like 6 for 6.
He went God mode.
Yeah, it was stupid.
All right.
Arrest that man for being so good.
I'm gonna board this train. We'll go all aboard this train because what'd you just say?
I said arrest that man for being so good.
All aboard this train. Look, if my prediction is right, then they're gonna need runs somewhere. You know what? No, it's not gonna be a grand slam.
Grand salami?
I'm getting too greedy. It's a Cal Grand Slam.
That's right.
It's gonna happen.
That's right.
All right, next up.
That Ohtani game, he went 6 for 6, 3 home runs, 2 stolen bases, 10 runs driven in, and he joined the 50-50 club.
Let me tell you what, Cal Raleigh tonight is gonna make that version of Shohei Ohtani look like Dustin Ackley.
Yeah, exactly. Shmohei Ohtani.
So good. God. Aaron Rodgers actually will retire.
No, I mean, I don't think he want to go out like that. And I think that he's taking his time. Remember, I told you 420 is the day. If he does not commit by 420, the Steelers need to move on and change their plans. But I think Aaron Rodgers still wants to play. And I think he still got some good football left in him. I know he's not the guy we saw in Green Bay a few years back, but he was still like top 10, 11 when it comes to passing yards in the league. If you give him a good football team, he can win you some ball games. So, yeah, he was actually 8th in the league when it comes to yards. 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. You would take that from Geno last year. So,
isn't that weird?
Yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers, he's playing ball. He is playing ball.
All right, Aaron Rodgers actually does retire. Bump not boarding this train. Curtis.
I think he's back in the NFL again. I don't see him retiring. That dude has a pretty big ego that he needs to feed, and he will not be able to do that just kind of walking away and drifting off into the background. No, he needs to be in front of a camera and waste everybody's time. So, yeah, he's going to be back. This is just another page out of Brett Favre's playbook.
Yeah, I'm not boarding this train either. Speaking of athletes who
Next,
have
he's
retired.
going to be stealing welfare money.
Do you think that he pulls a Tom Brady, retires, then unretires, but in the same season?
Probably.
I don't know, man. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, I'm sure he takes care of his body, but Tom Brady takes care of his body on another level.
Yeah, he doesn't even eat strawberries, I don't think.
Really?
I think the TB12 method is like crazy restrictive on sugar, including natural forms of sugar.
See, I don't think Aaron's doing that.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think Aaron's eating like processed meat or anything, but he ain't going to the extremes that TB12 did.
Speaking of quarterbacks, next train into the station concerns one Jackson Dart. The Ole Miss product, we learned today, is not going to attend the first round of the NFL draft in person. No reason given as to why. What if it's because he found out, maybe through his agent, he's not expected to be a first-round pick? Jackson Dart will not be a first-round pick. That's your hype train.
If we're going off of attendance, you're telling me that Milroe is going to get drafted before Jackson Dart.
No.
If we're going off of attendance, maybe Jackson Dart just want to be with his peoples. You know, maybe he wants to be in a backyard drinking a mojito and just hanging out with his folks. You know, that's, when I did my draft thing, that's what we were drinking, mojitos. I said, hey guys, I'm not getting drafted, but let's come kick it. You know what I'm saying?
I like that approach.
No, I think he will be a first-round pick. I think the Steelers are going to grab him if he's available.
Jackson Dart will not be a first-round pick. Bump not boarding. He's calling him to the Steelers at 20, I think. 20.
21.
Curtis, 21. Curtis, are you boarding?
I'll board. I just think him saying, you know what? I don't need to be in the green room on draft night this close to the draft. That tells me he's gotten some information that is like, you know what? Probably not going in the first round. And no one wants to be the guy sitting there the entire time with ESPN's cameras in your face.
That's why.
And like Lisa Salters kind of off near you, waiting to interview you if you get drafted.
Can you
even
imagine
though you're not
after
there.
every pick? Jackson, are you sad it wasn't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you think it would be? Well, Lisa, that was just the Titans choosing Cam Ward.
Yeah, that was pick 1-1.
I think he will be a first-round pick. I agree with Bump. I think that it's just that he's maybe choosing to be with family or whatever, but I have a hard time seeing Dart going after Milroe.
Yeah.
Next up. Colorado was right to retire Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's jerseys. Bump.
Travis Hunter for sure. And I think they're right with Shedeur Sanders, just the timing of it. It's a little quick. I let these guys play in the NFL for a year or two. Travis Hunter, I can see doing it right now. You won the Heisman. But let these guys get their feet wet in the NFL and maybe bring them back for homecoming or something like that on their bye week and do the ceremony then. Because you also want the fans to be involved in this. And I think they did it doing it during a spring game or something like that. But it's like, do it rivalry weekend. Whoever that is, at Colorado State, I guess. Just make it a big deal if you're going to do it. It seems like it's a bit rushed. So they were right because the numbers don't lie, but I think the timing of it was a little rushed.
Colorado was right to retire Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's jerseys. Curtis.
I think history will look back on it and be like, oh yeah, those guys got their jerseys retired, whatever. I don't know if any of us are going to remember the timing of it like 5-10 years from now, where it was like almost immediately after.
I'm going to make it a
guys...
point to remember now.
Okay, all right. And then 5-10 years from now, I'm going to get text. Remember when you said...
You guys remember?
Yeah, remember how...
when Colorado retired their jerseys during the spring?
It's like, yeah, Travis Hunter won league MVP like last year.
Travis Hunter just played in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's like 34 years old now. I'll say yes, they were right to retire. I'll board that train. But the timing of it, it's weird. Travis Hunter, I think the timing of it is all right. He won the Heisman last year. Like, school legend. Shedeur, I don't even know if you can confidently say that he is the very best quarterback that school's ever had. Statistically, I mean, the numbers, the yardage, sure.
Single season.
But like Cordell Stewart, his win percentage, he went 27-5 and has a unforgettable moment in his career with Colorado. So I just feel like there's also other deserving Buffalo players.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Text them now to the Mac and Jacks text line. Any question, doesn't have to be sports. It can be. Obviously, I got a couple sports ones ready, but 866-979-3776. Get your questions in. What I Need to Know coming your way next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Saul.
A couple of pre-draft visits this week. What are you seeing?
If I'm Sam Howell, I see that headline yesterday that Jalen Milroe is in town for a visit. I'm kind of looking over my shoulder like, it's going to be go time.
Every day at 7:45.
Milroe, for me, he's the most intriguing of that bunch because of that plus skill set. This is a deep draft. Not a lot of filet, but there's some really good sirloin. And in the middle rounds, there could be some sirloin at quarterback.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Meanwhile, at Xfinity. So, influencer life going well?
Oh, yeah. I'm up to 32 followers.
Oh, that's something.
Yeah, posting my tap dancing videos is easier than ever because we engineered Xfinity Internet with 99.99% network reliability.
Plus, Xfinity Mobile with Wi-Fi Power Boost gives you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. But wait, tap dancing? You don't tap dance.
Hey, what I lack in skill, I make up with passion.
Do more of what you love and love how fast you do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile. Through June 23rd, get 400 megabit Xfinity Internet with free equipment and unlimited internet data. Plus, get 1 unlimited 5G mobile line included, all for $40 a month for 1 year. And ask how you can get a free 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply with paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Xfinity Internet required. Taxes, fees extra. After 1 year, rate increases to $70 per month. After 2 years, regular rates apply. Actual fees vary and not guaranteed.
Are you working in the refrigeration industry? Are you staying up on current regulations? Well, Local 32 can help advance your career. That's right. Learn more at ualocal32.com. Again, that's ualocal32.com.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Baseball's back. It's time your yard stepped up to the plate. Synthetic Turf Northwest is Seattle's go-to for pro-quality turf. Perfect for backyard batting cages, putting greens, or just a mud-free play zone for the whole family. We install the best, we supply the best. And we're local-based in Woodinville with a new Fife location coming soon next to Sportco. Mention Seattle Sports and save up to $1,000 off your project. Visit syntheticturfnorthwest.com, where the grass is always greener.
Now is your time to get into a new D.R. Horton home by taking advantage of their National Red Tag Sales event going on right now through April 20th. Stop by any of their participating communities and find select Red Tag homes at incredible pricing. So whether you're buying your first home or looking for an upgrade, you don't want to miss the Red Tag Sales event going on right now. Discover the D.R. Horton difference at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
The Oki Golf Platinum Players Card is the best April golf deal with 7 prepaid rounds, discounted guest passes, and green fees. And now through April 30th, Oki Golf is offering 1 free bonus round with purchase of the Platinum Players Card. Visit okigolf.com today to secure yours.
Announcing the Million Hour Volunteer Rally. G here, join me, Safeway and Albertsons, and donate your time and skills to support local food banks and host food drives or fundraisers. You can win free groceries for a year and a $5,000 donation to your favorite hunger relief agency. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer to learn more. Find volunteer opportunities and log your hours. A million hours will help create food secure communities. Visit albertsons.com/volunteer.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Hey, it's Cliff Averill, inviting you to join me at Muckleshoot Casino Resort April 24th for the ultimate draft day viewing party. Yeah, we're teaming up with Seattle Sports to bring you all the excitement on draft night live. You'll get expert insight, exclusive prizes, and a chance to hang out with me and my boy Lofa Tatupu for a special Q&A. Whether you're a diehard Seahawk fan or just love some football, this is the place to be. So don't miss out. Join us for the big night at Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Let's talk football, win some prizes, and enjoy the draft together.
I like my teacher because she helps me with my problems at school.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, sponsored by WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Dave Wyman here for my friends at Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for the past 23 years. I'm really excited to work with Harley Exteriors because they're my kind of people. I had Ray, Chris, and Nick out to my house just to see what they could do for us. You see, we've been in the same house for 24 years, and virtually every window in our home has a broken seal. Harley Exteriors has an exclusive high-quality Euro vinyl Olympic Series window manufactured right here in Washington, and these windows are designed specifically for homes in the Pacific Northwest, helping to maximize energy, efficiency, and beauty. It's a window you can trust to last the life of your home. Very affordable, with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Through April, buy 1 window and get the second for 40% off. Harley Exteriors are big fans of the station, and they're excited to work with our listeners, and I'm proud to be working with Ray, Chris, and Nick. It's a team you can get behind. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's what I need to know. Get your questions in to the Mac and Jack's text line, 866-979-3776. Who's broadcasting and when for the draft, says the 253. That's a real question, just not me promoting. Bump, who got night 1?
I do.
Yes.
Me, Brock, Wyman, and
All
Bob.
the players.
Me, Brock, Wyman, Bob. We're on late, too, man. It's like a 5-hour day.
Yeah, so the guys are on night 1, all the analysts, and then Bob is hosting.
Is that Thursday?
Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday, they are
Same squad.
It's the same squad. And then day 3 early, it's me and Mike. And then following us is Lefko, Curtis, and Mora.
That's it, yeah.
All right. Someone said Curtis sounds like Seth Rogen.
I know. Seth Rogen's like,
yeah, I don't know about that.
Y'all reaching, man.
No, I've never thought that.
I never thought that.
I never thought that. 866-979-3776. Who would win in a hole-in-one playoff between Bump and Brady Henderson?
Brady whooped my
Brady
butt
Bones.
the other day. Brady whooped my butt. We were on the
Did
same
he?
team, but I play like, you know what, and he balled out. I think the first time I played better, second time he played better. So it's like 1-1 right now.
Brady's pretty good, right?
Yeah, Brady's good.
Okay. What I need to know, I'm thinking of traveling solo to Seattle, says one listener. Other than sporting events, what cool, underrated things would be for someone who's an extrovert but doesn't mind a little introvert time too? Matt looks disgusted.
If you're an extrovert, stay out of Seattle.
What?
This is not an extrovert city.
Not where you go.
Yeah.
Not the places you visit.
Now, the Seattle Freeze is for real. But extrovert.
I don't know.
Maybe,
Go to a show. Just find some live music, man.
Mhm.
You know? Find some live music.
It's tough because everything I'm thinking would involve going with someone. Like breweries can be great for that type of person. Like you're around other people, but you're not crowded. And it can be sunny and beautiful, but I don't know if you'd want to go by yourself.
Brewery? Nah.
The zoo, Woodland Park Zoo.
By yourself?
Yeah, why not by yourself? They have a tiger. I've never seen it. I don't think they really do. I think that the Woodland Park Zoo has a tiger exhibit, but doesn't have a tiger.
She did air quotes,
I
guys.
swear to God, I've
Why?
never
'Cause it's
seen.
never out.
I've
You
never
gotta
seen
go on days like
ever,
this.
ever. What do you mean days like this?
Where's nice out?
That tiger isn't there, Bump. The tiger is not showing up.
It's there.
It's not there. It's an empty exhibit.
just
I
sleeping.
swear. I'm gonna do more digging, but I've been to that zoo. I don't know how many times I can count. I used to work at that zoo. I don't think they had the tiger when I worked there, but I don't think it's real.
Okay.
I think it's a giant scam. I'll find it.
All right.
Any pro tips for new dads? Says another listener.
There's always something you can help out with.
Shh. Yeah, don't ever just be standing there, dog.
Make yourself look
Let them
busy.
help you.
Make yourself look busy.
Don't look comfortable. All right?
Did you ever get yelled
Look
at
tired,
looking too
man,
comfortable?
just disgusted. Like, oh, yeah? You're sitting? Oh, okay.
Did you ever pretend to do something like washing the
I'm just
same
walking
bottle?
around touching things. Just
Dusting things, vacuuming, dishes.
I mean, what about like how you would help someone with your wife has a newborn, or your partner has a newborn? Then how do you
change
help?
diapers.
Take some of those night feedings.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Hold the baby so she can shower.
Yes.
The one
Yeah,
thing I
oh,
always hear
yeah.
from friends who have had babies is they feel like they don't even have time to shower. Like they don't have time to just
Yeah.
like sleep or nap or
Mhm.
shower or like go, I don't
Sure.
even know,
Yeah.
buy something for
All the
herself.
above.
Yeah, so just let her be by herself for a minute.
If she's breastfeeding, just wake up and be there, and she'll let you know when it's time to go
That's
back
good
to
advice.
sleep. Just stare. You good? I know I can't do anything to help this situation, but I'm here.
Here for emotional support. Someone said, "Oh, wine tasting in Woodinville, and it's okay to go alone." That's another texter helping
Get litty
another
all by
texter.
yourself. Get litty.
Who would be the all-star pickleball duo at the station? Says what I need to know.
Curtis, the baseball guy, he's got good hand-eye. I would
Are
say.
we not going to pick Lefko on purpose? Because we know he's the most
Lefko's
diehard about
yeah.
pickleball.
It'd probably be Curtis and Lefko.
Oh, and Bump.
Yeah. Stacy, you
And
can be
Matt,
our manager. You be our team
This
manager.
is exactly what happened in 7th grade volleyball. the coach pulled me in and was like, "So you didn't make the team, but I have an even cooler role for you."
Yeah.
Manager.
Oh,
I was like, wow.
Scorekeeper.
I was like, oh my God, I basically got promoted over all these other people. That's so embarrassing. You guys are players. I got promoted to a front office job. I didn't get it at the time. I was like, wow, I really
Were
am.
you manager?
Yes.
You did it?
I was like, I really am special. That's crazy how much better I am.
Just wheeling the ball cart around.
No, you like keep score and like you kind of help out, but mostly it was like keeping score during games. I don't even remember how to do it. I just remember I was manager and I was like, I'm assistant coach.
You just stood there with your arms crossed.
Next to the coach, both of us. Let's see, 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Is there anything better than sitting in the yard under the warmth of the sun while listening to baseball on the road? I think not, says this listener, especially with a cold IPA.
Especially if your yard is manicured too. It looks all good. Ooh, you sit there, admire your work.
I'm having a moment
Oh my
right now.
gosh. It's beautiful.
Have you ever just like looked at the lines from
Oh,
a mower?
what? I will manicure, do my thing, and just look out the window and stare at it like, look at that. I did that.
Someone else told this person to check out the underground tour of Seattle. They said you can go by yourself and it's really, really cool. I love that listeners are helping this listener who's coming to visit. 866-979-3776. Someone said the Woodland Park Zoo has 3 tigers. No, they don't.
They sent a picture.
No, they don't. Where'd you take that photo? Nice Photoshop from this tiger that's clearly not a real tiger.
That thing's real.
No.
Look at those eyes.
No. I mean, it does look like a real tiger, but I need to know, like, first of all, where did they go from 0 to 3? That's what I want to know.
You purchased them from India.
I don't know. Let's see. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. Is it shocking to think Coach Prime had nothing to do with the retiring of Hunter and Shador's jerseys?
He had everything to do with it. Everything. You know, these boys need their jersey retired.
What if he didn't?
He did.
He's a pretty good Coach Prime.
He did.
I don't
You
know.
know he did.
I don't know.
Come on.
Okay.
He's the coach. He's the coach.
I think it was more of Colorado getting in front of it. So they knew he'd probably want that and that it would make him happy and it would make him, like, they're trying to make it seem like, we think you could go anywhere. We know we've locked you up with a new contract, but we want to make it clear that, like, we'll do whatever. So we're going to do this to, like, flatter you.
It's Prime. He's Prime.
866-979-3776. Who's winning WrestleMania this weekend?
I don't know any wrestlers anymore. So, I don't know, Curtis.
It feels like John Cena's coming away with the title.
Cena's he's still wrestling?
Yeah, he turned heel,
He's a heel now.
about a month ago.
Really?
Him and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, the defending champ, reigning champ. Yeah, it just feels like we're setting up for the summer of Cena. Matt's been telling me all about it.
People are just sending me tigers. Matt, have you really been telling Curtis all about this?
Oh, yeah, all
Huge
about it. They've been
diehard
turning
fan.
heel. They've been
Diehard
turning
fan.
foot. They've been doing all
toes and all.
What I need to know, Lakers taking game 1. What do you think Bump's going to say? What do you think Bump's going to say?
Let's go. 3:30. Don't talk to me. Don't text me. I'll be locked in somewhere watching that game. Let's go.
What year would you have liked to see the Mariners, so past iterations of the Mariners, featured on the Clubhouse on Netflix?
I don't know, whenever they was balling.
I have 2 answers. One, obviously, the year that they made
1995.
No. I mean, sure, that'd be cool, but yeah. I was going to say the year when D. Gordon and who got into a
Gene
fight?
Segura?
Yes.
Yeah, when they got into a fight,
That
they closed
year.
the clubhouse
Was
doors.
that when they started off real hot? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
then
year was a mess.
By September, there was a fist fight.
Yeah, absolute mess. But for the drama, I would have loved to see that. And for coolness, playoff run.
Whenever the
ending with Cal.
steroids were at its peak, I want to see who's juicing.
Yeah.
Or not juicing.
Or not
because we are a pure city.
Somebody on that squad was juicing.
Put Barry in the hall is how I feel.
Well, Alex Rodriguez played for the Mariners, so. Yeah.
You got Mariners' first pitch against the Blue Jays coming up at 4:07. Pregame at 3. Our Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
The Cal Raleigh Show.
Belted way out of here to right field. Holy smokes.
Every Thursday with Shannon Dreyer on Wyman and Bob.
Seattle has been nothing but good to me. I would love nothing more to play for one team my whole career.
Listen live on the Seattle Sports app or find the video on YouTube.
Cal Raleigh with a walk-off home run.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
47,000 fans are going crazy.
From groceries to home prices, the cost of living in Washington state keeps going up. Now, Olympia politicians are proposing the largest tax increases in state history. Don't be fooled. If taxes go up, we'll all pay even more. Washington needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Tell the politicians no by visiting www.affordablewashington.org. Paid for by the people for an affordable Washington. Top 5 contributors are Washington Alliance for a Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Amazon.
Right now, have beautiful, ultra-efficient, clean technology windows installed and pay $0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 18 months. Only from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. And they'll even pay your sales tax. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-330-1991. That's 1-800-330-1991. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-330-1991. SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Getting engaged? At Shane Company, dream engagement rings are our specialty. We have the most beautiful natural and lab-grown diamonds, hand-picked in every price range, ready to compare side by side. Shop online at shaneco.com or in store. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Listen up, Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. So let's do it again and get vaccinated. We're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults under 50. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit